Today on the channel, my dad is back, and it means one thing, a little Universal Monsters NECA, Phantom of the Opera.
And the spirit of Ultimate Warrior will run forever!
Kyle here, and welcome back to the channel for another Universal Monster unboxing and review. And today we got the brand new one from NECA. We got the Phantom of the Opera. But remember, for all your Phantom of the Opera needs and a whole lot more, make sure you're hitting up Entertainment Earth. Use discount code Kyle, save yourself 10% on all in-stock items. Anything over $59 does ship free. Got to get a deal out there. And of course, I got a special guest here today, my dad. Dad, say hello.
Hey, hello.
Hello. Back again, back at it. The hardest working dad in YouTube is what he is. And it is very fitting. It is Father's Day today.
Okay,
so
yeah.
happy Father's Day.
Hey,
Congratulations. Congratulations. You're very, very lucky to have me here. It's just a great day. Great day. But we're going to do a Father's Day unboxing today. We should have done this early. Well, we would have had to get the figure earlier to have it true. I mean, you just can't just turn and burn.
It's out quite early anyway, isn't it, before it's supposed to be?
Exactly. Yeah. It's supposed to be out like maybe end of August, September or something was kind of the word. But, you know, I walked into the local toy store down here yesterday. Walked in there just seeing they had a big sale going on. 20% off everything in the store. And I said, oh, this is my time to shine. And Elle came along. You know Elle, obviously. Yeah. She got some Squishmallows. And then I was just, you know, looking as one does. Yeah. And bam, there it was. Phantom of the Opera just hanging there. I couldn't believe it. Couldn't believe my eyes when I saw it. Unfortunately, there was only one. And I said, oh, no, Dad's going to be so mad at me. He's going to be so upset that I only got one of these. But then luckily, when I was going out to check out, they had two more sitting up there at the counter. I said, hey, could I have one more of those? And they said, sure, you dirty scalper, you. I said, no, it's for my dad. It's for my dad's Father's Day. All that. So all was right in the world. You got your Phantom of the Opera. I got my Phantom of the Opera.
Very good.
And here we are today. So
there are worse things that have happened to me other than that. Probably.
Than missing out on the Phantom of the Opera. I think that would have been the biggest regret of your life, the biggest mistake.
I see it could be now. Yeah.
It still could be. Yeah. Still could be. We'll see what happens. But Dad, you got yours. I dropped it off at your house yesterday.
Very nice.
You just got done working in the yard doing things, and it was a great surprise for you. You just never thought. You thought, is it September? Did I miss summer? That's what you said, I think.
Not in a million years. Yep. Did I ever expect that.
Didn't expect it. So you didn't open yours last night, I'm guessing.
No, I looked at it very carefully.
He's still all mint on cards. Still, you're going to tell everybody the day you open them up, you're going to do a giant unboxing of your own.
It might be tomorrow. Who knows?
You never know. You never know.
The spirit moves me. The Phantom moves me.
The Phantom will move you. But of course, Dad, we're going to do this review like we do all the other reviews here on the channel. We're going to take a look at the packaging. We're going to talk about it. We're going to unbox it. We're going to talk about it. We're going to see where it goes from there, and probably deep off the rails. But the Phantom of the Opera, in my estimation, because I'm an estimator at the end of the day, I guess, it sounds good, but I estimate that this movie is more famous for the look of Lon Chaney than the actual movie itself at this point. I think more people know the look of the Phantom of the Opera, the monster, whatever you want to call it, than they know anything about this specific movie.
That's probably true. Everybody recognizes the Lon Chaney face.
Yep.
I mean, that goes back to 1925. This movie was made.
Yep.
He was an actor called the Man of Many Faces. I think his two most famous movies would be The Hunchback of Notre Dame and then this one, The Phantom of the Opera.
And then London After Midnight. Yeah, I got the shirt on. So London After Midnight, though, it's a lost film.
Yeah.
It was in one of those film studios, wherever it burned down, and they haven't found it. So they're hot in the search. They think like maybe somewhere in Argentina or something, there might be a copy of the film somewhere is what they're thinking. But,
wow.
But you're exactly.
Well, I mean, he was unique as an actor in that he created his own makeup and his own faces. The Phantom he created. And he didn't reveal what he was going to look like, I guess, until the movie premiered. Yeah. So
there was a lot of, like, and obviously simpler times back then, no internet, things like that. So there was cloaks of mystery. Nobody knew. And he was like the man of 1,000 faces. What's he going to come up with? And obviously a silent movie star. And one of those stars over the years, this is going back to my, I don't know if you're aware of this, but I am one class away from a minor in film. Yes, it's true. Can you believe that? It is true. But this goes back to some of the film study back in the day. And he was one of those... He was one of those actors back then that didn't really make the crossover from the silent era to the voice era, whatever you want to call it there. And I believe he made one movie, maybe two talking movies before he died, and I think it was really under protest. And part of that protest was because I believe his parents were both deaf. I believe that is the case. Right. Yeah, they were deaf, and he wanted to have movies his parents could enjoy, and he felt like it was selling out the deaf people if he was going to talk. So that was going on. And then there's rumors, and you can confirm this or not, that he actually had a son. Speaking of Father's Day here, he had a son that also got into acting. He might have done a few things.
His first name was Creighton.
Oh, yes, yes.
Creighton.
So that goes back, I think.
Creighton Cheney.
And he used that at first, but then I think he said, you know what, I can make more money getting off my dad's name a little bit. You know, I think they urged him to go off that name to help sales and things. And the rest, as they say, was history.
He became Lon Chaney Jr., a whiny guy.
Oh, yes.
And Larry Talbot later.
Your favorite whiny horror monster is, of course, Lon Chaney Jr.
But part of the reason, too, he didn't make it big in sound films. This movie was made in 1925, but he passed away in 1930. He was 47 years old, I think. A young age, anyway.
Something like that. But that was old back then.
Yeah.
47 was probably like 70 now back then.
Could be.
Probably. And this is dangerously close to the 100th year anniversary on this one. We're about like 2 years away. It just seems wild. It just seems like yesterday I was watching this in the old big screen. Who knows? Maybe not.
But the other problem is Lon Chaney despised Hollywood. He didn't like the atmosphere. He didn't like the people.
Yep.
He was quite a loner.
Yeah.
And that just wasn't a transition I think he could make.
Yep. And his son loved Hollywood and loved the booze, especially at the end of things. He had a storied career too. After the Wolfman, I don't know. He had a few things here and there, but boy, he looked rough at the end, didn't he? He looked like he just looked like he was going to explode.
Well, if you're best known as the Wolfman, that could cause you to drink a lot.
It could
very
be
heavily. I mean, if that's your life's purpose.
Yep. Look at Michael Landon.
Oh my.
All right, let's take a look at the packaging on this one here. We got the old Phantom of the Opera. I assume, I'm not super up to date on the movie posters for this, but yes, I believe that is the movie poster for this one. And on the front, very old school style, Carl Lammel presents the Phantom of the Opera with Lon Chaney, Norman Carey, and Mary Philbin.
And Carl's daughter was in this movie, too. I think she was one of the chorus line.
Well, and I also see the name Mary Philbin here, and I don't know, somebody fact-check this or not, but also the mother of Regis Philbin. Is that true? Or did I
wouldn't bet on that.
Did I just come up with that right now? I don't know.
I think you did.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I could have just came to me, or it could be deep truth. It could be deep truth. Somebody call Jesse Ventura.
You ever wonder if they're watching your every move? Cell phones, internet, surveillance. Think about it.
And Regis is dead, so we can't ask him.
We can't ask Regis. Regis was just a jewel. He was a treasure.
He
you know, and I felt bad for you because, you know, Regis's heyday was like the 80s and 90s. You know, at 9 o'clock in the morning here, you'd have Live with Regis and Kathy Lee, things like that. He had wrestlers on there all the time. But unfortunately, you missed everything. You missed all that. You were at work. You were a hardworking man in the 80s and 90s. You didn't get in the summertime, sit down and just get a cup of coffee and enjoy some Regis during the day. So
I enjoyed Regis late at night. In the 60s, he was a sidekick to Joey Bishop.
Yeah, so
Joey Bishop had his own show, kind of like The Tonight Show with Johnny Carson, and Regis was his sidekick.
Poor Joey Bishop, totally forgotten these days out of the Rat Pack. He's the forgotten member. Everybody remembers Sammy? I heard Sammy Davis Jr. had a glass eye. Was that true?
That's true.
Oh,
That's
boy,
true.
The more you know, the more you know. And then there was, of course, Dean Martin over there. Jerry Lewis. I never understood Jerry Lewis. Did you ever understand that guy?
I think you have to be French.
I don't know.
The French love him. He's the #1 comedian in
Is
France.
he still?
Oh, yes.
He died many years ago.
Yeah.
I just remember from his telethon, and wouldn't he bring? No, that was the local one that would bring his hacksaw.
Is Jerry Lewis dead?
I think he is.
Well, it wasn't that long ago anyway.
No.
He's still doing the telethon.
Yeah, I think he's dead now at this point. And he had that famous movie that never got released. You ever hear about that one? It was like about like a Nazi clown or something like that, and they said like he was a Nazi sympathizer, and they like banned that movie. And I don't know if it'll ever get officially released.
He got canceled. He was canceled.
He was canceled before it was canceled.
Oh my!
He was a rough guy. Yeah, Jerry. I don't know. But so who's the best Rat Pack member?
You got to go with Frank Sinatra. I think Dean Martin. They were the two leaders.
None of them do anything for me. Never did. Never. No.
Old blue eyes.
I don't know. Not for me. Not for me. Not for me. All right, let's look at the front. So there's the front there looking good. The old Phantom looking only like a Phantom could look if he was an Ultimate Edition from NECA in 2023 in the Universal Monster line. That's what he would look like. And then we got the many faces of Lon Chaney right there looking good. And then, of course, the back We got face after face after face. Look at that. That's just absolutely wild. Looking cool. Love this one here. Steve Martin with a cameo. Who knew Steve Martin was in this movie? I didn't know. But, you know, Steve Martin's had gray hair forever, so he's timeless at this point. Phantom of the Opera. So it's just got the many looks here. And that's really what the movie is about at the end of the day. It's about all the different looks of course, the Phantom of the Opera.
Well, he was not a supernatural being.
No.
Unlike Dracula and Frankenstein and what have you. He was an actual human being who was an escaped convict from Devil's Island.
Devil's Island?
Devil's Island.
I believe that is a... I believe that's a Megadeth song. I believe.
Devil's Island is an island off the coast of South America. It's French Guiana, but the French used to put all their worst convicts on Devil's Island. So it's kind of like Alcatraz.
Yeah.
Alcatraz, only tropical heat and storms, and not a place you want to go.
Was it like Papillion?
That's where he was.
Was he?
And it's
Papillon,
the
that's
butterfly.
Right. That's right. I always go to it's Papillion in Nebraska, though. That's Nebraska speak for you.
Papillon is French for butterfly, and Steve McQueen starred in that movie. And
That's
that was
right.
a good representation of Devil's Island. Horrible place.
You know, Alcatraz, horrible as well. Elle, or my daughter Elle, of course, you guys know Elle, she loves Alcatraz. She had to do a thing at school in 6th grade. She had to read like 2 different books and write a thing on Alcatraz.
Oh, boy.
And I said, well, if you're going to tell the story of Alcatraz, you've got to make sure you tell the story of Roddy Piper. Because we do know Roddy Piper in 99, 2000. It gets a little blurry sometimes. He stayed in Alcatraz to get prepared. He wanted to get toughened up.
Ooh.
He wanted to get toughened up there. That's what you do. You go to Alcatraz, and that's what the Hot Rod did.
I took a tour of Alcatraz a few
at
years
you.
ago, and that is a creepy place.
I wish I would have known that, because
Elle,
Elle, you could have helped Elle with her presentation. You know, some call it The Rock.
Yeah,
That's, you know, there's
what it is.
The great hard rock band Alcatraz. If you don't know Alcatraz, what are you doing? You probably don't even know Alcatraz,
No, I
the
don't.
band.
No.
Graham Bonnet, one of the songbirds of a generation is
Really?
Graham Bonnet. Yngwie Malmsteen got his start on there, if you've ever heard that name before.
Who could forget him?
Who could forget Yngwie? But yeah, Alcatraz, the band, one of my all-time favorites. Graham Bonnet.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, but the Phantom here now, what was the Phantom story? Wasn't there some interpretations where he got like acid in the face, and I don't know exactly how to get all scarred in this version.
That's kind of a mystery. A lot of people said he was in a fire at an opera house.
Oh, that's right.
And got disfigured and lived underneath and became attracted to one of the chorus line singers, who ultimately became an understudy to the main singer in the opera house. But his goal was to push her to the top. So he sent threatening letters to the lead actress that she needed to relinquish her role and give it to Christine, the love of his life. And the lead singer did not do that. So he dropped a big chandelier on the audience, killed a bunch of people, and ultimately Christine then went into the labyrinth with him, became really his prisoner. She was the one who disregarded his advice, never pull off my mask, but she did. And that face turned around to look at her, and from then on, she was a prisoner in the catacombs.
Prisoner of souls is what she was at the end of the day. All right, well, let's dive in here. Let's see what's going on with the old Phantom here. And he does come with a cape. It is cape season after all. Lando Calrissian, it never ends. Wow. But we got a nice little cape here. What would you call it? Almost looks... it
looks like velvet almost.
Velvet.
But it's kind of the rayon-ish.
Like Lee Greenwood, didn't he? Was it Lee Greenwood that sang Velvet Morning or something? Was that song? Some Velvet Morning. It was always used on Coast to Coast.
I've never heard him sing that one.
Do you know... Not Lee Greenwood, didn't he do like what's up, Proud to Be?
Exactly.
Okay, different guy.
Yeah,
not Lee Greenwood. I forget who does Some Velvet Morning. It was in Coast to Coast AM. They always used that song over there. Wow. You ever listen to Coast to Coast back in the day?
I can't say I did.
Art Bell, you know Art Bell?
Remember Art, yeah.
Oh yeah, they get all your info. That was a lot of late night wrestling trips back in the day. I would, of course, go to a lot of independent wrestling shows and friends with a lot of wrestlers. Shout out to old Tony Sly, Devin Carter, AJ Smooth, Midwest professional wrestling legend Gage Octane, and why not Seth Rollins while we're at it. But a lot of late-night car trips back from wrestling shows and things like that, and it'd be like midnight, 1 a.m. We'd turn on Coast to Coast with Art Bell, driving through the country, driving back home, and we'd listen about Sasquatches and UFOs and stuff, all that great stuff. But
so I'm having trouble connecting the dots here. And that went back to Lee Greenwood singing I'm Proud to Be an American.
That's right. Well, I thought it was Lee Greenwood that sang the Coast to Coast song, so I was confused there for a second. But yeah, it happens. It happens, let me tell you. But a beautiful cape here, but is it officially a cape? I think there's holes in here for the arms.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it's a cape. If it's got a hole for an arm, is it a cape?
It's more like a shroud type cape.
So we got one of those. We got a shroud, a cape, whatever you want to call it. Lando Calrissian is impressed at the end of the day. Now the Phantom's got two flayed out hands here. No fists for the Phantom. He's not fisting anybody. He's not throwing any fists at anybody. I guess he wasn't a fighter, was he? He was more of a submission expert, I think, in his
He used
fighting.
something like a lariat, and he choked people.
Okay, well, the more you know. But we got some pointer fingers, I'd call that. Maybe pointer fingers. Got some of that, and we got one gripping hand, which is going to be, of course, for his cane, and then you got another kind of splayed out hand. So he's got some kind of gnarled up hands going on, but he does have a cane. You know, canes were everywhere back in the day. You still see them from time to time, but not like you used to.
They were a fashion statement.
Exactly, and that's what we've talked about that before in other ones. And how old are you going to be when you get a cane as a fashion statement?
Real old.
I'm almost there. I'm getting closer every day. I'm thinking about one with like an 8-ball pool on it like that. You know, but I don't know. I'm trying to decide my look, my signature look. You know, as I'll probably transition slowly. I'll have a cane for a while, then I'll move into a cape with the cane, and then probably finish it with the top hat. So we'll see what happens. But it is a cane, not the fanciest cane. I mean, this is, I guess, a 1925 cane.
Just a little black hook on the end.
It's almost like they had a black hook, and they just had a little piece of old plastic pipe. Said, hey, we got to get the most out of our molds. We got to get the reuse out of it. Let's put that together. Now we got a fedora, of course, a fashion statement back in the day. A true statement of fedora.
Even today.
You ever wear a fedora?
Not in a long time.
You did once, though, in your life.
Probably in the 70s.
Did you?
Yeah,
Where would you wear that to?
Wear it to work. Keep the rain off.
Yeah, I guess.
Keep the snow off your head.
Kind of like Indiana Jones, basically, right?
Looked like that.
Was that when you were like teaching basketball and teaching in school and stuff like that? You'd wear a fedora to school?
No, I didn't do that in school. No.
Huh, I don't know. I just can't picture you in a fedora, but I guess we know what's on your Christmas list. We'll get you a new one. So we got a black fedora hat. You can get reuse out of this. You can use it with other stuff, but obviously it'll be here for the Phantom. And now, this is going to be a very, very difficult figure here because you have 5 total heads for this figure. That is a lot. And I almost like too much. It's too much sometimes for me.
Yeah, but it could have been, he was the man of 1,000 faces. You could have had 1,000. They cut it down to 5. So 5 of the best ones right here.
That's true. Yeah. So if you're a hardcore Universal Monsters fan, you're a hardcore Phantom fan, you need like 6 of these figures. You need 1 displayed with each head, and then you need 1 mint on card, mint in box. That's an expensive road to hoe if you're a huge Phantom fan, but I'm not sure how many Phantom fans are that heavy out there outside of you, probably. You'll probably get 5 or 6 of these.
Well, it depends on what you're talking about. The old silent film is long gone, and there's not many aficionados for that, but you had the Broadway play, which has brought this whole thing back, and there's millions of people that love that play. And it's good music. Andrew Lloyd Webber, and it's a good plot.
Did he do Cats too?
Yeah, I believe he did. Yeah.
I'm sorry to offend because actually Andrew Lloyd Webber is actually a Patreon subscriber of this channel, so I hate to throw him under the bus a little bit, but I just never been able to do these musical things, these plays and stuff like that. I mean, you remember back, we had to do plays in schools, and I think it was like 5th or 6th grade. I had to be in the Martian Chronicles. Remember that one? Remember I just sat there and I just opened my mouth when I was supposed to talk, and I didn't really talk, and like singing plays, I would just kind of move my mouth without singing.
You had a problem in that unless you were made the star, you just didn't want to participate.
That's right.
You wanted no backseat role at all.
No, I'm the star of the show.
If you're off to the side of the stage, forget about it.
Yep, I'm done. I'm out of here.
Put that guy in the center.
That's right. I've never been able to go to plays, and I don't know if I've ever even seen like a Broadway play or something. I don't know if I could make it. I try my hardest, but I just can't do it. I just can't. It's too much. I'm just not classy enough. I don't know what the word is, but you hear those days where people go to like Broadway plays on a Sunday afternoon. That sounds just absolutely atrocious. That just sounds like the bane of my existence. And those Andrew Lloyd Webber things are just so out there. It's just so, I don't know. I just break into some, I don't know. But of course, that's probably where most people know the Phantom from. Yeah. And I think didn't the run of the Phantom just end on Broadway? I think after like 40 years or something, like 35 years, something like that.
It went a long time.
I don't know. There's a lot more song and dance in that one probably than this one, I would imagine.
Very little dance, a lot of song.
A lot of song. A little too much song. But let's break this one down. I was going to say, I guess we'll start with all the heads. We're just going to go through the murder's row here. Now, I would say this is probably the classic head. You got the messed up kind of gnarly teeth. Not a lot of dentists back then, we do know. You got the big high cheekbones, the big sunken in eyes. And then the key to this one is kind of the big forehead, the little bit of hair, and then, of course, the side eye he's given there. That's the big money maker on this. Those eyes off to the side, definitely looking crazy. Boy, he's got the old horseshoe going on there, like a young Hulk Hogan.
That's called male pattern baldness.
Oh, yes,
and
yes.
They have all kinds of ointments for that.
Do they?
Yeah, they do.
You know, we've been very fortunate on our side. No male pattern baldness yet, so we're going good.
Clears it right up.
Do you think you're going to get bald eventually?
No.
You don't think so? Yeah, Grandpa, he's 96, and he's got a full head of hair.
Right.
Full head of hair.
Right.
Good for him. Good for him. But yeah, interesting. Male pattern baldness at its finest. I think that's where it was diagnosed right here. Now we get the old Steve Martin head here, and we got a... I don't know what you call that. He's got like tape around the bottom of his mouth there.
Because of the teeth, and it's a mask type effect, but it was important to cover the top portion of his face because...
Yeah, he wasn't winning any beauty contests. We all know that. And then he's got...
it is a mask on the side.
Yep, it is a mask. Total masked up. Definitely interesting there. And then he's got like a skull cap on there. A do-rag, dare we say? A do-rag?
Something like that.
So, I don't know. That looks good. It almost looks like a... I mean, it's supposed to be a mask, but it almost looks like one of those China baby dolls from back in the day. Those creepy China dolls. That's what it reminds me of there. Now we're going to pick our own poison here. Now here's a very... the Phantom just sitting there listening in. I mean, it's just a very stoic face on here. A lot of the same stuff we saw in the first head, but you got the teeth going on. The nose kind of up there. It almost looks like he got some tape and kind of taped his nose up. It's kind of...
And that was horribly painful for Lon Chaney because his nose was flared up and pushed up with some pieces in there, and that was painful for him.
It's a guy that's dedicated to his craft. You just don't see that anymore. So we got that, very plain Jane, and here's one. This is when he gets like spooked. I think this is from the famous scene of the movie where isn't he at like the piano and the girl's behind him and she like pulls his mask off. She sees him from behind, but he's like seeing the camera and he's like, oh my gosh.
How dare you?
He knows the jig is up is what he knows at this point. He's like, oh no, she's going to see how I look.
Well, he had warned her never to remove his mask.
Very silently.
Right.
But there it is. And then the last head here is a little side eye to the other side. So you like your right side eye or you like your side eye to the left? Choose your own side eye adventure is what you can do here. So
that
a little
is a
happy.
Total wicked happy look.
It is. It looks a little out there. That's for sure. But definitely interesting. Well, that's quite the hair. That part in the middle too really adds. They
captured these faces very well.
Yeah, they've done a great job. The old NECA team. I love this line, and this line's got to be coming to an end. We know the Creature from the Black Lagoon San Diego Comic-Con exclusive is coming out. I'm going to try to get you one of those as well. But then we got the regular edition Creature. We got the green-colored Creature. So we got 3 creatures to come. So it's going to be Creature Overload. It's going to be What a Time to Be Alive. That's the best Universal monster, so I'm excited about that. We still got the black and white Bride of Frankenstein to come. I don't know if they'll have a black and white version of the Phantom. I would have to assume. Boy, that's not going to be very exciting, but we'll do it. We'll do it. We're in for the long haul. I don't know what else they're going to have. If they have a little kiddie pool with the Creature's lair, we might have that. Maybe. I don't know. I think we're coming to the end of the NECA unboxings. Maybe. We'll see. San Diego Comic-Con's really announced a lot of new stuff. Wow. We'll see it. I'll see it live in person. I'll send you some text messages from there. I'll say, Dad, look at this. You won't believe it. They got Igor with Bela Lugosi as Igor. Maybe that's coming. Who knows? Who knows? But now we get down to the Phantom here. And at first, I did think this looked just like maybe an easy repaint of the Dracula Universal monster. But it does seem to be a little bit different than that. You do got a little thing. You got the Colonel Sanders tie going on up there. Of course, old Harlan Sanders. Shout out to Harlan and his great chicken. Are you a extra crispy guy, original recipe?
I still like the original.
I'm all day original recipe, and it drives me nuts. You know, Angie and I, we almost broke up the first time we went to KFC. She said, "Oh, extra crispy." I said, "First, don't order from me. I'm an original recipe guy. What's this extra crispy all about?" Never had it, and I'm boycotting the extra crispy. Original recipe all day. And I bet it's been a while since you've been to KFC.
It has been. It's been a while.
Man, you're missing out. As far as terrible out-to-eat food places, I think KFC's right at the top of my list. You get that coleslaw. Oh, that's the best. Do you like coleslaw?
I do.
Oh, he dabbles. Now, I'm one of those ones that, for coleslaw for me, and I think a coleslaw purist out there, if you're a purist of coleslaw, chime in. But Long John Silver's and Kentucky Fried Chicken, by far the best 2 coleslaws in the world. Everything else, absolutely hot garbage. So I have a feeling I don't really like coleslaw. I think I just like terrible coleslaw. So I don't like coleslaw. I like terrible coleslaw. So there you go. But KFC, shout out to you. Shout out to Harlan Sanders and his little tie.
Well, the Phantom was extra crispy all day long.
He was. That's how he got to where he was. That's for sure.
Had to be.
Bringing it all back home, like Bob Dylan, as we always say. But looking good here. He's got, what do you call this outfit here? Like a three-piece suit?
Yeah, it's a
tails on the end, kind of.
It's really not, it's kind of like a tuxedo. Tails, white tie and tails, only black tie and tails.
You know, it's weird if you're this hideous monster and you're living under the opera that you take the time to really care about your appearance so much you get this outfit on every single day. I mean, that's dedication to your craft. How about that? How about that? But all in black here. Got the white shirt underneath. Besides that, everything is black. Got the black shoes, the black pants. All black everything is what he's going on with here. But now we get down to the articulation on this one. Arms go all the way around. Single jointed elbows. A little side-to-side action at the elbow. Hands, of course, removable. Hands back and forth. You get the head, of course. Head's going to be removable. Head side-to-side, up and down, all over the place with the old head. Waist articulation a little bit there, but he was no gymnast really at the end of the day. But he could do some big old splits if he needs to jump over the opera, needs to do something like that. Single jointed knees, you get the back and forth side to side at the knees, then you get the ankles back and forth side to side, up and down, and that's all the articulation we get here with him. Wonder how the hat fits on him. Oh, looking good. He looks like he's ready to do some stuff. I might have that backwards. Is that backwards? I think that's right.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. Always confuses me on these hats, but
it stays on there very well.
Stays on very well. There's no getting that hat off, that's for sure. So I got to figure out how to display him. Any guesses how you're going to display? What head are you going to go with, you think?
Well, that one's a good one.
I don't know. It's too many options is what this is. And I can't believe I'm saying, dang you, NECA, how dare you give me too many options
I think I like
for my
this
figures.
one. I like this one, too.
The side-eye?
Yeah.
The other side-eye?
Yeah.
So pick your own side-eye adventure, really. I'm not sure what I'm going to do. I might do the scary open mouth face. I like that expression on that one. I don't know. It's tough to decide. You're going to have to play with it. You're going to have to figure it out. But does he fit on a ringside collectible stand? Use discount code Kyle. Save yourself 10% on the Mattel stands.
You bet.
At Ringside Collectibles, look at that. Always need to stand for here. The Phantom taking his last stand right there, here at the table. So an interesting one. Where do you put this in the pantheon of NECA Ultimate figures? Right up there against Dracula, of course, Frankenstein, Bride of Frankenstein, Wolfman. Where do you sit? Where was he in somewhere in the middle, the back end, the front of the bus? What do you think?
No, I mean, he looks just like Lon Chaney in the movie. So he's right up there at the top. I think Dracula was realistic. Frankenstein was realistic.
Yeah.
This is just as good.
I think they all look just like they should. I think they are really good. Some of the best figures really going today are these. And I don't know if they're not for everybody. They're not appreciated by everybody. I understand that. But definitely, no doubt about it, if you're a fan of this, you got to love this line. I don't know. I guess for me, he's probably at the back end of them just because it's one of my least favorite ones. This and the Mummy are probably at the end for me, where Dracula, Wolfman, Frankenstein. Of course, once Creature comes, he'll do that big old Creature jump over to the top of the list for me. But can't go wrong with the old Phantom of the Opera. It'll be interesting to see if we get the black and white version. I feel like they have to do it. They've done it on all the other ones, so I'm sure they will with this one as well. So there it is, a Phantom of the Opera. Any last thoughts on this one?
No, very good job by NECA once again. I like their stuff.
Yep, happy to have it. So we'll see what happens with the Creature. Hopefully the Creature's the next one we bring here to the table. We'll see what happens there. So there it is. Well, there it is, the Phantom of the Opera. Of course, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Don't forget to like this video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to hit the old notification bell. And don't forget about the Patreon for early access to videos like this. Bonus content, exclusive content, giveaways, Q&As, pizza reviews, and dog stuff. Yes, dog stuff over on the old Patreon channel. It is truly your best way to support the channel and all the content. You can also support the channel over there at ProWrestlingTees.com. Search Kyle Peterson, pick up a t-shirt, and don't forget social media. SirPaul64 on Twitter, Instagram, _Kyle_Peterson. And Dad, anything you want to plug, anything you want to talk about on your way out? Any golf? Anything like that?
I didn't know you knew anything about pizza.
Oh, I dabble. I'm a pizza. Some know me as a pizza king in this area. You saw me on the news. You heard me on the radio. Oh, that's a whole nother life I live.
It's quite a moniker.
You know,
Pizza King.
I'm really like the James Brown of life at this point. You know, I'm just, somebody comes, throw that cape on, and I throw it off. I say, nope, I'm not done yet. I'm going to keep on going. Keep on going. They call me Bread Jesus also. In an 8-state area, they say, oh, here comes Bread Jesus. That's the other name I get. So, good company with Jesus. Good company, I guess. There you go. So there it is, Dad. Thank you for joining me. We'll be back again. And so for the Phantom of the Opera and my dad and Father's Day, I am Kyle. See you guys all real soon.